Aptly named after the speedy messenger god of the Roman pantheon, Hermes in the ancient Greek one, the planet Mercury is the speed freak of our solar system. Not only that, but Mercury, like all of our other planet neighbors, has a unique set of characteristics and circumstances that have dictated its history till the modern day. Join us then as we take a tour to the nearest planet to our own sun. When was Mercury first discovered? Like the discovery of most natural phenomena, it is challenging to pinpoint a single person who can get the credit for discovering Mercury. The main reason for this is that Mercury is one of the 5 inner rocky planets that can be seen without using a telescope or binoculars. However, Mercury is a little trickier to find than other planets, as it tends to not travel too far from the Sun, from our point of view on Earth. This makes it harder to spot in the sky, and probably meant it was one of the later planets to be found when compared to the other 5, like Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, or Venus. That being said, we can be very confident that anyone, at any time, could have seen it simply by looking up into the night sky. For this reason, a better question might be to ask who were the first to record their observations of Mercury. From what we can ascertain today, the Sumerians might have been the first. They had records showing the planet's existence around 3000 BC. The ancient Babylonians called the planet Nabu, the god of writing and learning. The ancient Greeks originally thought that Mercury was 2 planets, but in the 4th century BCE, they realized it was just one object. Fast forward a few millennia, the great Copernicus developed his sun-centered solar system model, published in 1543, which clearly showed that Mercury was a planet. The first person known to observe the planet using a telescope directly was the late great Galileo. In the 17th century, he provided the first proof, so to speak, that Mercury was indeed another planet. He also confirmed that Venus must be orbiting the Sun, as it appeared and disappeared at regular occurrences on either side of the Sun. What's so special about Mercury? Mercury is the smallest planet in our solar system and is the closest to the Sun. It is only slightly larger than the Earth's moon and has a diameter of about 3,031 miles, 4,879.4 kilometers, slightly larger than the width of the United States. About 4 billion years ago, an enormous asteroid is also thought to have slammed into Mercury. Rather than destroying the planet, it actually managed to survive the impact. The asteroid that hit Mercury is estimated to have been 60 miles, 99.5 kilometers, wide, and created a vast crater now named the Caloris Basin, which is 960 miles, 1,545 kilometers, across. That is enormous. To put that into perspective, the asteroid that is thought to have killed off the dinosaurs was about 6.2 miles, 10 km wide. If this isn't enough to make the planet special, then some other aspects of Mercury also make it strangely unique. For example, while it is nearest to the Sun, it is not the hottest planet in the solar system. That accolade goes to its neighbor Venus. Mercury is freezing at night, and instead of an atmosphere, the planet has a thin exosphere of atoms blasted off the surface by the solar wind. Another special feature of Mercury is its magnetic field. Mercury's magnetic field is offset relative to its equator. Even though the strength of the planet's magnetic field is only 1% that of Earth, it interacts with the solar wind to cause magnetic tornadoes, channeling the fast, hot solar wind plasma down to the surface. Mercury has an eccentric egg-shaped orbit that ranges from 29 million miles, 47 million kilometers, to 43 million miles, 70 million kilometers, from the Sun. The planet tilts on its axis by just 2 degrees with respect to the plane of its orbit around the Sun. This means that it spins while almost completely upright, so does not have any seasons. Because Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun, it has the shortest orbit, speeding around the Sun every 88 days. It travels through space at speeds of around 29 miles, 47 kilometers per second, faster than any other planet. However, the planet spins very slowly on its axis, completing 1 rotation every 59 Earth days. Is Mercury hot or cold? The short answer is that it depends on when and where you look. Thanks to Mercury's fragile and non-protective atmosphere, you cannot find any weather phenomenon, except for some, frankly, crazy fluctuations in temperature. For example, Mercury experiences extreme temperatures, either very hot at up to 840 degrees Fahrenheit, 450 degrees Celsius, or extremely icy at -290 degrees Fahrenheit, -180 degrees Celsius. The average temperature on Mercury is, however, around 354 degrees Fahrenheit, 179 degrees Celsius. However, some places remain cold enough for water ice. Complex radar studies have shown water ice from comet residue appears to be present on the shady side of craters on Mercury's North Pole, for example. These extremes in temperature on Mercury probably rule out any organisms surviving there, but there may be Goldilocks parts of the planet that possibly could support life. But it is widely accepted that this is extremely unlikely. Since Mercury only has something like 38% of Earth's gravity, it becomes challenging for the planet to hold on to its atmosphere. This becomes even more challenging because solar winds from the nearby sun constantly buffet and erode it. However, the very same solar winds, micrometeorites, dust, and radioactive decay also partially replenish the gases escaping into space. Mercury's atmosphere is a fragile one and has challenges retaining heat, culminating in the freezing temperatures on the side of the planet in shade. There is also some research that shows that the distance of Mercury from the sun determines the concentrations of sodium, magnesium, and calcium in the atmosphere over time. Though there is no conclusive evidence supporting why this happens, astronomers link the fluctuations to solar radiation pressure. As we've previously highlighted, Mercury, being so much closer to the sun than Earth, loves to play a game of peekaboo with us here on Earth. While the planet is in front of the sun, from our vantage point, it is relatively easy to sport, but it completely disappears for some parts of its orbit, only to reappear later. Mercury is also known as an inferior planet, which might sound like a veiled insult, but is actually related to its relative position in the solar system. This term simply means, in this context, that it has an orbit nearer to the sun than the other planets, especially the Earth. All other planets further out than Earth are, unsurprisingly, referred to as superior. This is ironic because astronomers noted Mercury's existence before discovering Mars or Venus. Interestingly, it is currently believed that the darker skies that existed before our megacities of today were built probably made it easier to spot Mercury. If you like craters, Mercury is the planet for you. Mercury has no atmosphere or weather conditions, so erosion is basically non-existent. There is also a distinct lack of volcanic activity and weather in the form of wind, clouds, storms, etc. For craters, this is good news, as they won't be eroded away over time. Mercury's iron core takes up about 75% of the planet's radius, and scientists think its rapid formation may have formed a thin crust over the large iron core. In early research, astronomers believed that Mercury had a smooth surface. However, in November 1973, the Mariner 10 spacecraft flew past Mercury and soon revealed the planet's pitted and smashed surface. This large amount of craters has given Mercury the title of the most cratered planet in the solar system. Unlike other planets, these numerous craters form because Mercury does not heal itself, for want of a better term, after a collision. While most craters on Mercury are small, a few may be more than 50 miles, 80 kilometers wide. The largest crater on Mercury is the Caloris Basin, with a diameter of 960 miles, 1,545 kilometers. However, the planet does have other features. As the planet's large core cools, the planet shrinks, creating cliffs hundreds of miles long and up to a mile high, as well as great valleys up to 620 miles long, 1,000 kilometers, and 2 miles deep, 3.2 kilometers. Another interesting discovery of late is the possibility that Mercury is covered with diamonds. Since its crust has a high concentration of carbon in the form of graphite, it is plausible that it also has a large number of diamonds. Unlike here on Earth, where diamonds form from high pressure squeezing in the Earth's crust, diamonds on Mercury, if present, probably form wherever the planet gets pummeled by an asteroid. The pressure wave from asteroids or comets striking the surface at tens of kilometers per second could transform that graphite into diamonds, says Kevin Cannon, a geologist at the Colorado School of Mines and a key member of the research team. The research in question goes as far as even attempting to quantify how many diamonds could be lying around on the surface of Mercury, 16 quadrillion tons. Another Mercury fact is that it travels 180,000 km/h along its elliptical orbit. Unlike most other planets, Mercury also has a near-perfect circular spherical shape, the most nearly circular of all the planets besides Venus. Mercury takes 176 Earth days to complete a rotation about its axis. The planet also takes 88 days to finish a complete revolution around the Sun. Because of this, amazingly, solar days are longer than years in Mercury. The reason for this is that Mercury and the Sun have a near tidal lock, slowing Mercury's rotation. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to watch the other videos we made for you. Thank you.